One of the things that I think is the hardest thing in business is staying focused and saying no to virtually everything. And so like I tell people that all the time, especially young people, like, what's the hardest part? I'm like, it's going to be staying focused. Yeah. Because the more successful you get, the more people bring you new ideas, and you build this confidence that, well, if I'm good at this, I'd probably be good at this. And so what happens is people get really good doing one thing, and then over time it gets watered down because they're now juggling like 10 different types of projects.
At Paladin Partners, we've been quietly building one of the top focused industrial commercial real estate firms in the business. Over my career, we've been fortunate enough to handle over 60 million square feet of leases in over 150 cities across the globe with some of the biggest names in the business. And we just keep growing. We continue kind of expanding into project leasing, land entitlement and development, investment sales, and equity syndication on both the LP and GP levels. We welcome the opportunity to show you our approach and how we deliver real bottom line savings, drive customer growth, and create strategic value for your real estate, whether here in DFW or across the globe. So if you're a C-suite executive, a director of logistics or real estate, or an owner, investor, or operator, I'd love to sit down, shake your hand, grab lunch, and discuss coming on the C-Suite show, or talk through your next real estate move and discuss what makes us different. Simply stated, we go beyond the deal. Our network includes top suppliers, manufacturers, distributors, and ultimately end users. And we make business building introductions that help you grow faster. We bring this same mindset to our owners, investors by helping maximize value and accelerate capital deployment and your exit returns, which everybody cares about. And lastly, if you're an experienced broker, regardless of service line or asset class, and you're tired of giving up half of your commissions and want to build equity in a firm and an environment that's collaborative, entrepreneurial, and well, just actually fun, we should talk. Come and talk to our team. Many of our brokers spent decades at other firms and are now thriving again. So to schedule a meeting in person or via Teams call, reach out to Amy McCandless at amy@paladinpartners.com. That's Amy at PALADIN-partners.com. Again, that's Amy at PALADIN-partners.com. Now on to the show. Chris Powers.
Hey.
How are we doing today, bud?
It's good to be in Dallas. Thank you for having me. I love the podcast setup from one podcaster to another.
I appreciate that. You know, this could be Fort Worth. I mean, look at these Westerns we got here on the wall. I mean,
this is pretty Fort Worth.
I mean, you feel kind of at home in here, right?
You Fort Worth people would look up to you for this. This is pretty good.
Well, I always say that I'm definitely more Fort Worth than I am Dallas, really, at the end of the day. I'm just a small town guy. That's kind of what Fort Worth is.
And for the record, I love Dallas. I'm not like a Fort Worth guy that doesn't like Dallas.
Well, you know, it's funny. You and I, we posted, I don't know, a year and a half ago, the us shaking hands, right? Yes. Trying to bring the two cities together. I don't know if it did much good, but
it's a start. You got to start somewhere.
Yeah, we're working on it. You know, since we're both outsiders, maybe we can actually make it happen.
Where are you from originally?
McAllen, remember?
Okay,
way down south.
That's right.
We're both from the border.
I'm from El Paso.
You're from the other opposite end of the state.
Yeah.
I mean, English is a second language. You and I are doing really well now,
we're
right? We're
kind of making it.
I mean, we've lost our accents and the whole 9 yards, haven't we? Well, Chris, I really appreciate you taking the time to come on today, man. We're going to cover a lot of different topics. I always love to jump back into the childhood. And I didn't know this till I started researching you a little bit more, but I knew you were born and raised in El Paso, but then you moved to the great city of Lubbock, Texas, which is dear to my heart.
I did. Are you a Red Raider?
Yeah, I am.
Okay. So I moved in, I guess it would have been 94. The quick story there is
I was in Lubbock in 1994.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
So I would have been 7 years old. You would have been
19, 20.
fratting
roughly.
it up.
I was trying to be a field goal kicker back in those
Were
days.
you really?
Yeah.
Did you play on the team?
I walked on.
That's awesome.
Never made it past like third string or anything like that.
That's fine.
Yeah, but it was fun. I mean, Guy, you were there in the glory days. That was a Spike Dykes.
Zebby Lethridge.
Zach
Thomas.
Zach Tom. I mean,
those were the two names I remember the most.
Yeah, I mean, Zach
Did
is.
Zebby go pro?
No, he was never good. I mean, Zebby would have had. I think he tried to play like DB in pro.
So Spike's grandson, Casey Petrie,
okay,
who might listen to this. I haven't actually talked to him in a long time, but he's now a coach at TCU.
Is it really?
And obviously Sonny's our head
Sure.
coach. Casey, I don't know what he coaches, but
Yeah.
we were friends as kids, and he just moved to Fort Worth a year or two ago. And
That is so great.
so big coaching family, the Dykes.
There was another great, I mean, right before 94, the year before, you had Bam Morris. Remember Bam Morris? I mean, he was a heck of a running back. And then Byron Hanspard, who won the Doak Walker, actually played on those same teams
Remember the Lubbock Crickets? The minor league.
Well, I think that was right
team?
after me. But yes, that was the
They're
minor.
not around anymore.
No.
I was asking somebody. So used to do a lot of Lubbock cricket stuff. I played football and baseball up there. Select. That's like what you do.
Now, did you
there.
graduate high school then in Lubbock, or you went back? No.
My dad. So the quick story is my dad was a lawyer and then decided to become a doctor.
Right.
And so later in life, which would actually be like at the age I'm at now, we moved to Lubbock so he could start medical school.
That's so
which is wild. And so we did 4 years of medical school.
Okay.
We moved to Connecticut for 1 year for the first year of residency. He was from the Northeast originally.
Okay.
Putting Texans up in the Northeast, just not a great. I say this. I made some amazing friends, but the lifestyle's totally different.
Right.
After a year, it was pretty clear we were better off in Texas, and so we moved back to El Paso.
Okay.
He finished there. So I went from 7th grade through senior year back in El Paso.
Okay.
El Paso, Coronado.
Gotcha.
So
you could have maybe gone to Lubbock, Coronado.
I would have.
Is that where you would have gone?
I was at Preston Smith, would have gone to Irons, and then would have gone to Lubbock, Coronado.
Okay.
So
yeah, that's funny.
Still went to Coronado, just a different one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we graduate from El Paso, and then why do we not go back to Lubbock, Texas? You decide on this little school over there in Fort Worth instead, huh? What?
I don't know.
I mean, what took you to TCU? Did you have family that went there?
No, it's not a great story. So I graduated high school a year early. I was a really big junior golfer, loved junior golf.
Okay.
And I was kind of like, I want to stay in Texas. So that was my boundary. So I looked at TCU, SMU, and UT. I don't know why I didn't look at Tech. Just didn't. Maybe I'd already been to Lubbock. And that
probably
was it.
check that off. Probably one too many sandstorms, and you're like,
that was
I really
it.
don't want to go
And it's
back.
a dry county. And at that point, that was kind of a big deal. No, I'm kidding.
Probably everybody from El Paso already goes there, right?
There's a ton of El Paso people that go to Tech.
Oh, for sure.
And so the good news was I visited Tech a lot in college, had a lot of fun visiting.
Oh, I'm sure you did.
Terrible to be an away team at a football game, but hanging out with was great.
A lot of good-looking girls out there.
It's great. I love Lubbock. Yeah, Lubbock's awesome.
Greatest people on the planet.
And I visited UT, loved it, liked SMU, really liked TCU. Had a friend who had an older brother here that was an SAE. But the thing that got me to go was there was a guy. I wasn't even going to play golf in college, which is the funny part of the story.
Okay.
He was kind of my like idol in high school golf in El Paso, and he played golf at TCU. And he was kind of a mentor to me. He was a senior when I was a freshman. Like growing up in junior golf, he was awesome. And like I tell people this, it's like it's not a magic story. I was kind of like that was my coin flip. I'm like, well, Mark went there.
Why not?
I like all three of these pretty good. I had great friends that had older brothers in the fraternity system. And I was like, I'll just go to TCU.
Okay.
That was it. So I visited it once for a day and loved it. And that was it.
And how many years later, we're still in Fort Worth?
We're still here 21 years later.
21 years later.
Yeah, I've been there 21 years.
It's a great city.
It's awesome.
I tell a lot of people don't know enough about like going and hanging out in Fort Worth. It's just such a great city.
It's great. It's a great place to live. It's a great place to raise a family.
Yep.
My my ask is that a little bit of the business that comes to DFW, Dallas quits taking it all and a little bit of it
give it
over to the Fort Worth side.
Well, now Alliance has taken a lot.
That's true. That's true. But if you talk to people in my part of Fort Worth, like Alliance might as well
be another
city.
That's
it's not the same.
That's
it's 35 minutes up 35.
Yeah, it's close to Denton
You
County.
don't meet anybody walking around Fort Worth that's like, I work in Alliance. Those people live up in Alliance or Keller or South Lake.
You're right.
They annexed it in nicely, but we don't really count it.
You don't really count it. No, I get it.
Yeah.
All right. So you graduate, or let's talk about college, because I feel like that's where your obsession in real estate really started.
Yeah.
Right? Like you started buying homes.
Freshman year.
That's incredible. Like, how does one, talk to me about that journey.
Yeah. So it's pretty simple. When my dad went to medical school, so medical school through residency is 8 years.
Yep.
You don't really make any money at all. And so for that was some of the most formative years of my life, some of the happiest years of my life. It's not like but we didn't have a whole lot. And so I just started working on things at an early age to make money. Well, when I got to TCU, I already had an entrepreneurial spirit, I guess. Maybe you're born with it.
Yeah.
You start really hanging out with some really wealthy kids or friends.
Yep. Right.
And so I was kind of like, I need to make some money, but not just like some hourly money working at the school gym. I need to really kind of, So it was for trivial things like going on spring break, going to the bar.
Going to the bar.
I'm just being honest. These were not, we were satisfying a need.
Yes.
And I picked up the school newspaper, and I've said this on several podcasts, or you've heard me say it if you've ever listened. This guy, Adam Blake, who to this day is still an amazing friend of mine, almost like a brother.
Wow.
He had just won Entrepreneur of the Year award. And basically his story is college football player, lost his scholarship. He was going to have to leave, started buying and flipping homes as a freshman. Again, this is 2004, pre-great financial crisis. Debt was available for pretty much everybody, as you'll soon hear in my story. And I sought him out and was like, how'd you do this? And he basically told me, and he's like, here's a book that you can read on how to own rental properties, which is not super complicated.
Yeah.
And I was like, cool, where am I going to get the money? And he was kind of like coached me, like, you're going to go down to this lender. This is what you're going to say. And back then you could pretty much get 0 down loans with no history or credit. I mean, this was again kind of leading into the great financial crisis. Right. Well, as a 18-year-old, you're naive. You just think that's how the world works. I didn't have any context that this was off. Sure. I remember thinking, I can't believe everybody doesn't do this. Because literally, like, you would walk in and be like, hey, they'd be like, well, how much money are you going to make this year? And you would say, well, I want to make $100,000 this year. And they're like, cool. This is for your credit application. Yeah. How are you going to make $100,000 this year? I'm like, well, you're going to give me the loan. I'm going to buy a house and I'm going to flip it. And then I'm going to make 100. I can't make the 100 unless you give me the loan. They're like, cool, check.
Right.
As opposed to like having some stable W-2 income or something like that. So long story short, into my freshman year, bought a house, added a bedroom and a bathroom to it, rented it out, refinanced that house, 3-4 months later. Once it was leased on that rental income, was able to pull cash out, and now we were kind of off to the races.
Now you're off to the races.
So had some, and again, being naive, I wouldn't say I thought I made a profit, but I wasn't really fully comprehending I had just taken on a lot more debt. I had cash now, but I also had more debt.
More debt.
But really fortunate. 2 things. One, bought around TCU campus, which was a growing college university in Texas that was unaffected pretty much by the great financial crisis. Used that money that had come in off the refinance to buy 2 more homes, get down payments on 2 more homes. Then I had a little spending cash.
Yep.
And then just kind of kept going from there.
Unbelievable.
21 years later.
Now, what was your favorite subject in school? Like, what did you study? Did you get finance degree?
I was a finance degree originally. But what I learned, I had a teacher named John Thompson and Bob Aiken were probably the two most influential teachers I had at TCU. Bob's still great friend, sits in front of me like 3 rows. If he's listening to this, he's 3 rows in front of me at church. I see him every Sunday. And basically, what I figured out really quick, their message was like, you don't need a finance degree if you can't sell. So you need to sell something first and need an accountant and a finance degree. And so I took their marketing class. And so I added a double major, which was marketing.
Yep.
And I would tell you, I gravitated way more to the marketing side than the finance side.
Yeah.
I don't know if this is it feels like the right thing to say is like finance can be taught. Yeah. You can like teach somebody marketing on what to do, but to be like, to be able to sell yourself and have some of that's like a God-given gift.
Agreed.
Like there's some people that you meet that, and it's not like a bad thing. They're just introverted. They're never really going to be very salesy.
Right.
And if you look at people that grow businesses, usually one of the things they have is the ability to kind of sell their business or sell their vision or sell their, idea.
Okay. So we buy some homes. We got a little coin in the pocket, feeling pretty good.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
How do we kind of transition into the commercial real estate game from the residential side?
So the funny part is this was never some big idea to stay in this. I always thought, again, you got to remember my leading up to the end of college was 06, 07, market soaring, jobs are plentiful.
Yes.
I thought I would by this point, I owned a dozen rentals. I was managing probably 50 homes, mine plus at this point I was managing other people's homes and had a leasing business where I was the number one leasing firm for kids looking for places to rent, apartments apartment, which is a great business, by the way.
I tell every kid I meet,
the best business ever.
I tell every kid I meet that's in college, I'm like, go get your real estate license.
Be an apartment locator
for all your buddies. And sometimes these kids don't even have to show it.
You don't have to do anything. Just put my name on the app.
Just put your name on the app.
And like I would get these $3,000 commissions literally just for people putting my name on an app.
Right.
Anyway, but I always thought, we're going to sell all this at the end of college. And then I'm going up to New York. I'm going to Wall Street. That was kind of, at the time, tech wasn't a thing yet. It was still investment banking was like the really.
Right. Sure.
And then I graduated December 08. So by the time I got to graduation, market had totally collapsed. Going to Wall Street, unless you were like the valedictorian or had a great connection, was off the table. But right before the crash, had gotten a line of credit from Wells Fargo that was basically it was a revolver. You could use it like cash.
Sure.
And I just started using that to buy foreclosed homes down in South Fort Worth, in the Crowley, South Fort Worth area. Met a builder through there and partnered with a guy, and we started building. At that time, this was now like 09, 10. We kind of had a thesis that we could go into these really well-known neighborhoods of Fort Worth, buy a tear down, build a home, and still deliver it at a cost that was cheaper per square foot brand new than some of this older stuff built in the 60s, 70s.
Wow.
From there, kind of learned development, went back to TCU, started developing student housing all over the place, started buying land, just kind of from there, it kind of took off. And really by 2014, 2015 had kind of moved our way into commercial. And then at the end of, I'm skipping, we don't have to go through the whole story, but by the end of 2015, two things had become apparent that might be interesting for listeners. One, we had become like a jack of all trades. So we were just doing lots of different types of deals. Mm-hmm. And people would give us money and we were raising good money. But as the deals got bigger, more sophisticated investors were like, we'd kind of like you to focus on one thing. Like you can hustle, you got a good track record.
Yeah. And
the second part, I was getting pretty burnt out by development for all the reasons why people get burnt out by development. There's just a lot you can't control. Read something by Sam Zell that was pretty much like why he doesn't develop. He just acquires.
Right.
You know your cost and you know your cost to lease the day you close. There is no other, you take all the other risks that you can't control out of the equation.
Sure. Hey folks, quick break here to tell you a little bit about something that's in my everyday look. That's the Great State Hat Co. Whether I'm out just doing a beer run, grabbing coffee, or man, just trying to cover up a bad hair day, Great State Hat Co. has always got me covered. Literally. And the cool part, designed right here in the United States and embroidered right over here in Garland, Texas, right here in the DFW area. And the best part, every purchase gives back and you get to pick the charity at checkout. So kids, cancer, veterans, whatever you're passionate about. So check them out at greatstatehat.com and use code C-Suite for 10% off your first order. That's greatstatehat.com, because a good hat should feel like home.
And so I said I was getting fatigued by development and wanted to focus. And that's when we kind of came up with our idea that we were going to go into this kind of Class B industrial, light industrial flex product. And from 2016 on, that's really what we've done.
Incredible.
Yeah, it's been great.
How many properties do we own today?
We own about 7.5 million feet. Actually, somebody said this the other day in the office. It's 236 total buildings.
Incredible.
Now, some of those, like you'll buy a portfolio of buildings and it'll come with 15 or 20 in one purchase. But we own 236 buildings currently across all the major markets of Texas and Florida.
I was going to ask the next question. Are you outside of Texas? A little bit in Florida.
Orlando, which is actually, ironically, the best market and the best deals we have been Orlando.
Really?
Incredible market.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Just the growth there.
The growth, the limited land.
Limited land.
It's not really in the hurricane zone of Florida.
Yeah. Still can get property insurance there.
Still can get property insurance. I mean, it's crazy. That market, I mean, we're signing like $20 net shallow bay leases. Yeah.
That's great.
It's nuts.
So when you look back at this journey, like who were some of the most influential folks kind of in the early stages of your career? Like when you look back.
Yeah. My dad was super influential in my life. A guy named Meyer Marcus.
Yeah.
So Meyer's kind of who I would say is my OG mentor and probably who inspired me the most to build a career in real estate. So Meyer is from El Paso. He has a company called Mimco.
Okay.
And they probably own, I don't know, a couple $2 billion worth of shopping centers in Hispanic markets. So they dominate El Paso. They're in McAllen, Cruces, San Antonio. I mean, nothing makes them happier than owning like another Dollar General or another Dollar Tree or I can name all these types of tenants.
Yeah.
But he's built an empire, and he was an owner-operator. They own their own management company. And so a lot of how Fort was designed early on was pretty much mimicking Mimco. All their investors are pretty much friends and family over 40 years. He's just built a wonderful business. So I would say he's been super influential. I'm going to leave lots of names out. I'd say my current business partner of 11 years, Jason, has been super influential. We've been business partners for a long time, been through a lot together.
How's he the yin to your yang?
He is incredibly disciplined. He's he can stay focused on something for long periods of time. So I think one of the things that I think is the hardest thing in business is staying focused and saying no to virtually everything.
Okay.
And so like I tell people that all the time, especially young people, like, what's the hardest part? I'm like, it's going to be staying focused.
Yeah.
Because the more successful you get, the more people bring you new ideas and you build this confidence that, well, if I'm good at this, I'd probably be good at this.
Yeah.
And so what happens is people get really good doing one thing, and then over time it gets watered down because they're now juggling like 10 different types of projects.
Mm-hmm.
So he's really great at staying focused. He's really great at a lot of things. Super disciplined. I call him a robot almost. Like he has the same routine he had 11 years ago. He sticks to it. It works for him.
So he's the focused one. You color outside the lines.
I color outside the lines. He keeps me reined in.
Yeah.
He had worked at a really large company prior to partnering with me, so he brought a lot to the table in terms of how big companies think about things.
Yeah.
Even just from like how you build a culture and structure teams and comp and incentives and build budgets and AOPs. And I call that like the chicken of business. Like everybody needs it. It's not always the most fun thing to work on.
Right.
But he would just like, if we put a big initiative in place that would take years to kind of implement into a company, he just always get it done. He's a great guy, treats people really well, works really hard. So those are two that come to mind right off the gate. Adam Blake, who I mentioned earlier, was super influential.
What's he up to these days?
Adam he's built and sold multiple companies.
Okay.
Probably doesn't ever have to work again if he doesn't want to. He moved his family out to San Diego. And right now, I think he's just advising and sitting on the board of a few companies and then kind of investing right now.
That's where we all want to get to, right?
He's the best. He's super smart. He's got, I think, 4 kids. But I owe a lot of my career to Adam. He's been great.
What would you say was the most pivotal moment looking back on your career to date?
Most pivotal moment. Man, there's been so many.
Like a big or like a big success or something, something that just.
I would say a couple things. I would say, honestly, probably that pivot to being focused on one thing in 2016, it changed everything.
Experts earn more.
Correct. And that really, if you really looked at like a line on a graph or something, there would be an inflection point at 2016.
Yeah.
We became really good at one thing.
Yeah.
You can not only raise more money, but you can hire better people when they kind of know what they're going to be working on every day. So that was the other part. For a long time, I'd try and hire someone. They'd be like, cool, what am I going to be doing the next day? I'd be like, well, we do everything. Like, you're going to get to work on it all.
Right.
That kind of sounds exciting. But the truth is, like, to get more professionals that are kind of in their lane, they want to see like a more of a career path, how this thing's going to grow. And so it helps with recruiting. I think going all in on one thing was probably a huge needle mover. And there's been a lot.
Okay. Let's talk now about what a lot of people know about or know you about is this podcast world that you live in and that you kind of created. Like, I'm sitting here doing this podcast with you because I started watching you do podcasts several years ago, right?
That's awesome.
And then we came buddies, and then,
we met in the middle.
We met in the middle of Dallas, Fort Worth, and we shook hands right there where Tarrant and Dallas County meet. And but you were an early adopter to the podcast game, right? How did that come about?
I started listening to him, and this was I started it in 2018. So the December will be my 7-year anniversary.
I mean, that is early.
That's early. And I will tell you, I got teased a lot by a lot of people. What are you doing? This is stupid.
Sure.
And maybe it was at the beginning. So I just recognized a couple things. And these are not political statements at all, but I started to figure out quickly. One, it's how I was starting to learn. So podcasts, again, not everybody was listening to them, but I was like, oh man, an hour and a half of unfiltered information that's
about a topic I'm interested in.
Correct. And when you watch, again, this is not a political statement, but when you watch like the legacy media and you just really think about it and you're like, this is what I'm watching. They talk really weird. They don't talk like you would talk in a normal setting. It's all theatrics.
Yes.
The way they talk and and next it's Susie, tell us what the finance world is going to say. And it's like a 1-minute clip. It's very like soundbitey.
Very surface level.
It's very surface level. And I started picking up, it's not even a fake news comment. It was kind of like, this just isn't like the total story. Like maybe some of it's right, but like this is more for entertainment than it is for learning.
Right. If you want to learn, you have to read a book.
So then I'd go like listen to a podcast on the same subject, but by like a subject matter expert talk about it for an hour. And I was like, oh, this is like actually how you learn something.
Yeah.
So there was that. And then the second part was like, just naturally, I'm always the person, like when I leave today, I'll go to lunch with Collie and I'll tell him all about our conversation.
Right.
So I was like, well, maybe I should just record a couple of these because I'm always regurgitating these great conversations I'm having. And this is something I got from my dad. My dad, he's no longer here, but people would joke and they would just say, like, if my dad's got you one-on-one for like an hour or two, it wasn't an interrogation, but he would just keep asking you questions and people would always leave. And one, I learned like people love to tell their story and talk about what they know. They don't often get to do it, especially on long form.
Right.
So my first episode I did, I think I said, I'm going to record 10 episodes. I picked 10 interesting entrepreneurs. One guy was on the PGA Tour, John. And I just said, I'm going to put 10 out and then I'm done. It was just an experiment.
Yep.
And I did 10 and they probably sounded awful and I didn't know what I was doing and put them out. And
I got to go back. And
you got to go listen to the first 10.
I'm going to go back. Bad. I need to go listen.
They're so bad.
Well, I feel you're about probably going to be episode 40. I feel like I'm so much better now.
When I started. And you'll get better and better.
Oh, it's just like anything in life.
I mean, I'm almost at episode 400 now.
That's incredible.
And the nerves, I used to get real nervous. I actually still get nervous before.
Do you really?
Yeah. It's just, but I think it's in a good way.
Yeah.
Like, it's because you care.
I think one of the greatest things that you do so much research on your guests.
I do.
You know, and you are, you ask very interesting questions that I don't think that a lot of people, unless you did your research, nobody would ask those questions.
If people ask me like, how do you do your research? Well, I used to do it all on my own. Then I met a guy on Twitter that I would pay him a few $100. He was down in Mexico and he would send me these like 15-page research reports. And I would just read that and pick out like 5 nuggets. Wow. Sometimes I'll crowdsource questions.
Yep.
Now you talk about how AI is going to take away jobs. Now I use ChatGPT research or Grok research and you can get a lot of detail.
You really can.
But the truth is, I think the secret to it is really, you just kind of build a muscle that when somebody says something, you just kind of know like, all right, we're going to keep pulling on this thread. Like you didn't have to research it.
No.
So I'm going to have a podcast later today. I have 2 pages of notes. I won't get to half of them. And something will be said that I'll just kind of know like, all right, we're just going to keep hammering on this.
Yeah, we're just going to go down this tangent.
For sure.
Yeah.
But anyway, did those 10 episodes and people liked it. And so I was like, I'll do 10 more. And I liked it. Okay. You can't do 400 episodes and not like it. There are definitely days where I'm like, this is getting tiring.
Yeah.
But net, it's been a huge benefit to my life. And then I just kept going with it. And then by like episode probably, people ask me all the time, did you do this for business? I'm like, no, this was like a personal pet project hobby.
Yeah.
By about episode 30 or 40, I started noticing like people that we were interviewing would be like, listen to the podcast, or we'd meet an investor, be like, how'd you hear about us? You'd be like, I listen to your podcast all the time.
Right.
Because you're kind of building trust at scales. Like if you go listen to 10 if I go listen to 10 of your episodes, like I kind of know who you are.
That's right.
I kind of know what you're about.
Yep.
You can't really fake it.
Nope.
And so I tell people like, you either figure out you don't like me pretty quick and it's a filtering mechanism, or you like what we have to say. And so by the time I meet you, it's like a really nice, warm introduction.
You know, regardless of whether it's podcasting or just social media presence, right? I mean, that's really what it is. Like you said, people just recognize you or already know about you before you go meet with them.
Correct.
And how I got started, just like you, it was like I was listening to a Gary Vee story, and he was talking about if you're not building your network on LinkedIn right now, you're missing the boat. And this was like in 19.
You were an OG LinkedIner.
I was an OG.
You still are.
And so I was like, well, just like you, I was like, I'm going to go all in for 90 days.
Yeah.
And I'm going to see where it goes. And if I don't like it, I'm done. I tried social media. And if if I like it, I'll keep going with it. And so I just started posting, and then, I go from 400 followers to 30,000. I don't have near the 100 and some odd thousand Twitter followers that the godfather
it's a blessing and a curse.
Yeah, this is true. That's a whole nother story for another day. But yeah, and so now you're right. When you meet people, they're like, oh, well, I follow you on LinkedIn. I listen to your podcast. And that's the opening and the trust or the comfortability that you automatically gain by being on social media in some form or fashion.
Well, for sure. And like, from your perspective, some of my friends or people I work with probably going to listen to this episode. You're indirectly going to meet my inner circle by doing this. Right. So, you end up meeting some of your guest people. I'm going to be incentivized to say like, hey, you should go interview so-and-so. They would be great. It's like this web. So people all the time are like, well, how'd you get so-and-so on? Some of it's I know them. Some of it's I meet them and I ask them. A lot of it now is PR teams and marketing teams are reaching out, asking for a space on this podcast. Yeah. But a lot of it is just one guest going, man, you need to have so-and-so on.
That's right.
And
almost every guest emails me afterwards and go, hey, dude, have you talked to these
so-and-so
2 or 3 people? And I'm like, no, I haven't.
For sure.
Can you make the introduction?
And then you have that, it's out on the web, it's an hour and a half. And that connection is kind of there forever. So I talk to people that 3 years after we recorded are still like, dude, I still every now and again hear from somebody. Or if they're going to go meet with if I have a guest on and somebody's going to go meet with that guest for some other reason and they're Googling them and they're like, oh, Ray Washburn.
Yeah.
Well, the Fort episode with Ray Washburn shows up. They probably go listen to that ahead of the meeting, and then it gets brought up as a topic when they go meet. Hey, I listened to you on the Fort. It's just crazy how it travels.
It really is. So now you're 400 episodes in.
Yeah.
Give me your top. I mean, you've had some incredible guests.
Yeah.
I mean, give me some of the top ones that you've interviewed, and just top being.
And they're not all who you would think. So like Barry Sternlicht, you would think,
huge
icon in the real estate industry.
Now you flew to go meet Barry.
I flew to go meet Barry.
That's about the only time I've seen you leave.
I've never left town to do it yet. I've come to Dallas a few times, but
have you? Okay.
I had a guy on named Jamie Winship that wrote a book called Living Fearless. He was a pastor that basically joined.
Is it a yellow book?
Yeah, I think I sent it to you. Maybe I sent it. Maybe I didn't. Maybe you have.
I have that book. I just started reading it like week. I've read maybe a chapter in.
It's great. So I reached out to him. He was a pastor that basically joined the police department in Washington, D.C. and took his skills. It's called Living Fearless. Basically, the premise is our entire life for most people is just acting out of fear of something. Mm-hmm. And so what he helps you see is one, that's what you do. And two, maybe how to not do that. And what living a life where you're not running from something or fearful of something is like. Anyway, had him on, not a business guy. That is the second most downloaded episode ever.
Interesting.
Hundreds of thousands of downloads on that one. It's crazy.
Huh.
So
now I'm going to go have to listen to that.
You got to listen to it. It's done really well. A lot of oil and gas guys.
Yeah.
The real estate ones are awesome. I mean, I could go down the list. Ray Washburn, who I mentioned.
Sure.
John Goff, who I mentioned.
Yeah, that's big.
Fernando De Leon, I had him on. His has done well. They're all good.
Fernando's another border guy.
He's a border guy.
Yeah, Brownsville. Yeah. He was just on a little Forbes list here recently.
He was. Wow. Fernando's crushed it, man.
Wow.
The episode I did with him was super inspiring. I mean, the most inspiring thing he said, which was a lot of things, was like throughout the run, he went all in like 200 times. Like just kept making money, putting it all into the next deal, and just kept going.
Wow.
One, you got to be really smart and have a certain type of risk tolerance. And clearly it's worked out, and he's become a really good friend. And that's the other thing. I've met you become really good friends with a lot of these people.
Well, and to me, I'm just curious, right? I love learning.
Yeah.
And so it's just fun to like sit on the other side of the table.
I tell people the episode is for me. So I just I used to get really wrapped up like what's everybody going to want? And yeah, I'll crowdsource questions, but I don't take them all. I just take ones that
Sure.
But if you go into it with just like, hey, I'm an audience of one, I really want to enjoy this. I'm going to ask what I want to ask. It's kind of self-serving. I get to learn what I want to learn, have fun, and it just so happens other people are interested in it too.
Okay. You got any big guests you want to tease that are on the horizon?
This afternoon, I'm going to interview Ken Hirsch.
Okay.
That'll be a good one.
Yeah.
I'm working on Bill Ackman. He's not confirmed by any means, but working on that one.
Okay. You need to get Sonny Dykes on.
Well, here's the other part. You have a lot of like a lot of the public company guys.
Yes.
They're not great because their PR team will send you a list of what they can't talk about. Yep. And then you're basically like, oh, I'm just going to be another CNBC host asking you these like softball soup,
I've gotten to that point where it's just like, well, hey, if you want to get
about this,
you got to go through the media. And I'm like, what?
I want to have Palmer Luckey on. The guy that runs Anduril, the defense tech company.
Okay.
He built the VR headset, sold it to Mark Zuckerberg. He's got the mullet.
Yeah.
The perfect guest is somebody that has like escape velocity. They can say they're at the top of their world. They can say whatever they want. They've got nobody to bow down to.
That's right.
And they'll kind of spill the beans. That's like the perfect guest. Or just anybody that can just spill the beans is the perfect guest. If they're coming in, I had one guy on, I can't even remember his name. Really nice guy. This was really early on. His PR team had reached out. I looked online. I was like, oh, he's got 3 million followers online. I got to have him on. But he had just launched a book. Now, I didn't even read the book before the deal.
Yeah.
But the entire episode, every time I would ask him a question, he would like, oh, well, in chapter 7 of the book, it was just a big book launch. Yeah. So I won't do those. Like if you're about to launch a book and you want the podcast just to talk. Now, if you are about to launch a book and you just want to talk, great. But if it's going to be
if we're going to talk, I'm out.
Do that.
Yeah.
So I think in the future, my goal is I've expanded outside of real estate is just to talk to whoever I want to talk to and have fun with it. And I wake up every day and I'm like, when does this end? It's not my full-time job. It's still a hobby. People are like, how much time do you spend on it? I probably spend, depending on how well I know you, an hour or two on research.
Right.
An hour maybe prepping and an hour and a half recording. So it's probably a 4-hour endeavor.
Right.
The ROI on that time is pretty high.
For sure.
So.
Well, you just think about like every person that you've had on, you can now touch them.
For sure.
Right.
So
like, hey, can you introduce me to this person? Or I'm trying to get to this guy. I mean, the networking is incredible.
I've thought about like maybe one day you throw like an event and the only way to get into the event is if you've been a guest on the podcast. That would be a pretty fun room to be in.
Yeah.
So we'll see. There's things you can do with it down the road.
Well, yeah, maybe we need to do some collab on that.
We might have to collab on that.
Maybe we'll meet like right at the Tarrant County, Dallas
Where
line.
did we have lunch that day? What was it?
Well, it was in Grapevine.
Yeah. But
I mean, it's really close, but we've got to like find it and like you sit on this side. we'll draw the line.
Yeah. I can't remember where we were.
Well, what was the name of that? Winewood. That's a good little spot in Grapevine.
It's great. Shout out to Winewood.
That's where I mean, if the Fort Worth guy won't come all the way, I'll try to just meet in Grapevine. Yeah. That's a good happy medium.
Yeah.
All right. Let's go back to commercial real estate a little bit. I always like to kind of have a little fun here.
Okay.
Give me like a wild or wacky real estate story.
All right. There's one that comes to mind immediately. It's 2009. I bought a duplex, I bought 4 duplexes in this cul-de-sac down in South Fort Worth. But one of the duplexes, when I bought it, we were looking at so many houses and foreclosures back then. You're not going to run a full spend $400 inspecting every single one. So your crew goes through it. They kind of do their check, and you're going to gut it anyway, or do a lot of rehab. But we noticed there was some bees kind of congregating in a little area. Well, I was like, we'll just get a can of Raid and we'll kill those bees. And this had been a vacant duplex for probably 2 or 3 years. So I'm out in Midland caddying for my friend who's a professional golfer at the time. And we just get off the course and I get a call, and it's my contractor, and he is screaming bloody murder. Boss. He kept saying the bees. Well, the skinny of the story is they had gone into the kitchen to gut it. And when they had ripped out the drywall, a colony of African killer bees had formed in the walls. And I'm not talking a few hundred. I'm talking hundreds of thousands, maybe millions of bees. People don't know the scale of this room, but it would have been the entire
wall.
That wall and this wall, top to bottom.
All bees.
All bees. Wow. And you kill one of them and it puts off a scent that we're under attack, and they go crazy. Those bees then sting my crew. Everybody was safe, thank God. They then, the guy next door is mowing the backyard, so sound, lots of noise,
not good.
Pisses him off even more. They had just had a litter of puppies. Those bees fly over the fence, kill every single dog like this.
Oh my.
The neighbor is sending me pictures of these. I'm freaking out. I'm oh my gosh, the world is ending. It was my first, I had raised outside money to buy this duplex. I'm calling my investor. I'm I'm going to get sued. This was Meyer, actually. Great time to have a good mentor. And Meyer's one day, it was not a funny situation, but he's you'll laugh this off. This is not the biggest deal.
Right.
But to me, it was the end of the world.
Sure.
So long story short, fire department had to come out. They put some special stuff in the water. They spray all the bees out. There's literally mounds of African killer bees out in the yard. These dogs, it's sad, but these are little puppies, had swelled up to the size of normal dogs, and they stiffen up. And so the neighbor had put the dogs in a trash bag and is trying to tell me, you're going to have to pay for this. These are special breeds. They cost X amount for each dog. And they're we're standing out in the yard. I'm mortified. They're just laying on the ground. I mean, it was the worst day ever.
Oh my goodness.
And anyway, the worst part of the story is everybody gets out of, everybody's good. Everybody's healthy. We go start the project over again. And we go upstairs. And it turns out there was one more hive of them upstairs that we had missed because they weren't kind of leaving. So that one wasn't as big of a deal, but we had one more week of cleanup. And I bet you we killed a million freaking bees. I mean, it was I can't even describe. Mounds of bees 3 feet in the air, and puppies, and it was.
Did you get a life supply of honey out of all that, or
no? I don't even know what we did with them. I was so mortified.
Unbelievable.
Felt terrible. I called my lawyer. I'm they're not my bees, because the guy was these are special dogs.
Did you have to compensate that guy at any?
Well, no, because legally you can't. Because it wasn't. I don't own the bees.
You don't own.
They're not my bees.
Sure, right.
They're just in a wall.
Right.
And if you end up paying somebody, that means an admission of guilt, you actually did something on purpose. And so it was this whole fiasco. I can't remember what we did. I felt so bad. To this day, I cringe thinking about it. We couldn't admit guilt. I remember we were looking up in the law, who owns the bees? I'm I don't own the bees. I didn't. When I bought the house, it wasn't you get the duplex and 1 million bees with it.
Yeah. Wow.
So that was a crazy story.
Did the investment work out?
It did work out.
Okay. That's good.
I mean, if you bought anything in 2009, it worked out.
Yeah, this is true.
The real story was, why didn't we buy more in 2009?
Yeah, I know. Boy.
Yeah. I mean, we were buying stuff on 20 caps, fully renovated 20.
Wow.
I mean, you were buying duplexes, for people to give them context, that had been selling for maybe 150 in 07. You were buying these things for 25, 30, 40 grand.
Wow.
A year and a half later.
We need another buying time like that.
Everybody it's like, let me sell everything first and then let's have the buying time.
Okay, I know your time's limited here, so I want to get to the C-suite closers. These are just really quick hitting questions for you, and we'll run through these real quick. If you weren't in commercial real estate, what would you be doing?
The quick answer is oil and gas.
Okay. Something that most people don't know about Chris Powers.
I was at freshman year of college. There was a period where I was the number 2 minesweeper player in the world. It pays. If there's something you want to be number 2 in the world in, that's not the one. It doesn't pay well.
No, it doesn't pay well.
Doesn't pay well.
Most impactful book besides the Bible that you've read?
Yeah, that was going to be my answer. Probably. Oh, that's a good question. Most impactful book. There's another book on the same thread called Becoming a King.
Okay.
That's really good.
I'll check that out.
Or Psychology of Money, for a more business type of book by Morgan Housel.
Okay. Top 3 musicians on your Spotify playlist. I'm excited to hear these.
Oh man, well it's all kids now. So
well,
and
all
they're
right.
great. They're great. I like.
No,
them too.
let's take Blippy out of it.
Yeah,
and,
Forrest Frank. We've been listening to a lot of him. Top 3 musicians that I would listen to. I'm a big Dave Matthews fan.
Okay.
I think Dave is like the OG.
He is. Love Dave Matthews. I mean, back in the 90s.
He was great.
Early aughts. Incredible.
Every time he comes on, it puts me in a good mood.
Yeah.
Probably, again, I'm kind of reaching back. Maybe a little bit of John Mayer.
Okay.
John's good.
Yeah, sure.
And especially with, his latest music.
Yep.
He's transcended time pretty well.
Definitely.
And then country, lately, probably Morgan Wallen or something.
Yeah.
He's just always on.
He's real good.
Good.
Do you have a go-to karaoke song?
Yeah. It's Air Force Ones by Nelly.
Solid.
I can sing it top to bottom.
Can you really?
Oh yeah. I can't do it today.
Fun factoid, I was wearing Air Force Ones yesterday.
You were?
I was.
It's a great song. It gets the audience really going. I've memorized that in high school and I never forgot it.
Oh, that's so good. If you could have coffee with one historical or famous figure, who would you choose?
Oh, good question. If I could have with one historical figure, probably Charlie Munger.
Charlie Munger.
Yeah. I mean, if I was really,
yeah,
like I could say Tiger Woods. I'm like a huge Tiger Woods fan.
Are you? Okay.
But I don't.
See, I'd rather hang out with John Daly than Tiger.
I would rather play golf with Tiger. I don't know if I'd want to have breakfast with Tiger. I think Charlie would kind of.
Okay.
You could leave a 3-hour breakfast with Charlie and.
Okay. If you could live anywhere else in the world, where would it be?
If I could live anywhere else in the world, where would I live? God, these are good questions. I need to think about these more. Does it have to be? Can it be in this country?
No, it can be in this country. Sure.
Honestly, dude, probably like in the hill country or on a ranch in Texas.
Yeah.
Yeah. I wouldn't trade another big city for another big city. Really. I like going to them all. Colorado's fun, but if I had to play roots, I'd probably be a ranch in Texas.
I'm the same way.
Within an hour and a half of DFW, preferably south, not north of DFW.
Okay. Yeah, I want to be within 100 miles. That's my goal.
Get closer to Austin, that whole area. So Bosque County would be great.
It's beautiful down there.
Beautiful down there.
Clifton, Meridian, whole little area over there. I like West though.
Yeah.
I love like that whole Mineral Wells area, Palo Pinto County. So nice.
It's awesome.
Out there.
So West or South?
Yep. Okay. Favorite restaurant. I'm going to ask two of these because, you're the Fort Worth guy and the Dallas guy.
Yeah.
Favorite restaurant in Fort Worth. Let's start in the hometown.
Pound for pound. Joe T's. And people are going to push back on this, but I'm telling you.
The experience.
It's the experience. The food's good. The margs are good.
Yes.
Like you don't have a bad time there. There's an Italian restaurant on Camp Bowie called Bella's Italia.
Okay.
That is like a game. The chef is from Argentina. So it's like gamey Italian food. Really nice hole in the wall. If I'm over in Dallas, it's Javier's.
Javier's is great.
It's pretty good. And that might be a very like Fort Worth thing to say of a Dallas restaurant, but if I'm picking right now, it's Javier's. There's that place. What's the place in the design district that has the Townhurst, the Ducati that you can order like the $65,000 hamburger or whatever?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing.
It's unbelievable.
The food and the service there.
I went to the Mexican the other day too.
Not bad.
That was not bad.
Not bad.
Townhurst, boom,
is ridiculous.
They're doing
it. And I agree. I think Joe T's, if you're in Fort Worth, you just got to go there.
It's.
I mean, the patio, there's spring, fall, incredible.
Like Don Artemio's is incredible. Chumley House is awesome, but those are like high-end steakhouses. Like that's just pound for pound the whole experience. I'm going to Joe T's.
By the way, I love the Bowie House.
Bowie House is awesome.
It's great.
They did great.
I mean, that whole bar set up in there. I tell people now, I'm like, go there before you go over the stockyards versus, I mean, you can hit the Drover. Drover's great.
For sure.
But Bowie House is pretty special. Okay. Lastly, I'm all about impacting others. Are there any give backs or charities that you are passionate about you like to talk about real quick?
River Tree Academy in Fort Worth.
Okay.
They are a Christian private school in Como, which is one of the hardest hit neighborhoods of Fort Worth. Okay. But it's right in the middle of the west side.
Yep.
And they've done an incredible job. That's awesome. We spend a lot of time there. Our family did a mission trip, Homes for Hope. Yeah. Building homes. That was a lot of fun if you want to do that. And then really Cook Children's. We give to Cook.
That's great.
My first daughter was born premature.
Yeah.
And so Cook has always been
it's a special hospital.
Special spot.
Helps a lot of kids.
Yeah.
Brother, thanks for making your way over here today.
This was awesome.
Was a lot of fun.
Thank you for having me.
One of these days, I'll make the trip across.
We will. We'll reciprocate.
We'll reciprocate maybe this fall.
Yeah.
We'll
do it.
And this was fun, man. Thanks for coming on.
Thanks for having me.